Day 2 of the Men's Super Series is underway. Griffith Swords Thunder against UL Eagles. First shot of the day to Charlie Coombs. Ross O'Donoghue with you, Cian Nihill on co-commentary. Good afternoon, Cian.
Thanks very much, Ross. Great to be here. Should be an interesting battle. It's going to be a bit of a struggle for UL Eagles, I think, to stay with the pace of Swords Thunder and definitely to deal with their size. But as a three-pointer goes up there from their American Sadler, UL Eagles haven't got off to the best start, but they have a lot of experience in their squad, and they look to Neil Campbell on days like today to maybe just bed them down and get them going early.
Seamus Hickey with his first start feeds. Campbell kicks it back out, and it's up. Sadler.
And not a bad first possession for UL Eagles there. At least they moved the ball around. That's a decent look, and they're happy enough with that.
And here's Westbrooks. It's all going to come from him, as it always does with Thunder. Kevin Lacey, the Irish international, inside to Justin Goldsborough, one of the new recruits. Lacey takes it on, goes back to Goldsborough. First dunk of the day for the American.
And interesting there that one of the reasons that was an open dunk was Quigley was standing very close by with the Spanish player for Thunder, who is really a fantastic shooter. Although he's quite big, he commands a lot of attention out around the perimeter, and that opens it up for other guys just like that. And straight away, UL Eagles will not be happy with that. A turnover and another chance for Thunder here.
Lacey takes it on himself. Sadler with the rebound. Has settled well and early. Campbell dispossessed. Injured along the way. Delenko combines and doubles the lead for Swords Thunder. But Neil Campbell took an injury there on the right thumb. Could be in trouble, and they need him, that's for sure. Hickey looked for three. Quigley went in for the putback.
And that's an absolute killer of a play to give away by Eagles straight away. They are the underdogs here. And as we're looking back here at Charlie Coombs' nice little finish in there. And I mean, that type of easy basket for Swords Thunder is a real killer for Eagles to give away. They're going to have to win all those little loose battles, and they can't be the one giving up easy fast break points today if they're going to win.
Quigley to the free throw line, makes the first one. UL Eagles are off the mark. Radish and blue UL Eagles, sporting the new kit. Quigley, another one of the more experienced Eagles servants. Charlie Coombs. Westbrooks takes on the three. Effortless.
And if Isaac Westbrook starts heating up from outside, he is an absolute handful to play. He's so quick, so strong. It's not a good sign for Eagles if he starts knocking them down.
Can Eagles respond? Certainly not through Sadler on that occasion. Bit of pressure for Westbrooks, looks well able for it as Hickey takes up duties on Lacey. Short on options right now. And to zip that pass.
Looks like a foul away from the ball on Quigley in the post there. He was playing some tough defense against Justin Goldsborough there and got penalized for it. Yeah, you can see his hand just wrapped around the back on the replay there, and so good call from the referees.
Narbonne, Lacey, Westbrooks thinks about the shot, triple threat, takes it on himself. Late dish was to no one, and it's back with Eagles and Neil Campbell.
And straight after having picked up a foul, fantastic defense from Quigley, full front. Oh, and I thought he was going to follow it up with a three-pointer there, but a lovely little pass, and that's beautiful from Jack Kelly. But that's a fantastic play from Owen Quigley on the defensive end as he gets a hand in there and almost gets a steal and follows it up with an assist on the other end. Excellent play by Owen. He's one of the top players in the game. As we can look here at a nice replay here of his beautiful little pass inside to Jack Kelly.
Good inventiveness from Kelly to execute the finish. Coombs, his first season in Men's Super League. He's played in the States. He's an under-20 international. He's a live wire, and that's a superb finish from the Meath man.
It's great to see him starting the season so well. I mean, he's a guy who a lot of us would have known about playing underage, had a great international career underage as Neil Campbell looks to pop the three, a little bit short, but Charlie's definitely one of the stars of the future of Irish basketball and probably already one of the stars of the present.
Westbrooks takes the screen from Narbonne. Absolutely swallowed up there. Goldsborough is going to have to fight for this one. Lacey cleans it up. Goldsborough takes another go. His own rebound, it's over the top. It's still with Thunder. Narbonne with 2.
I mean, they're just so big and long in there. They've just got a huge height advantage against UL, and it's going to be very tough because they're going to get maybe 10, 12 easy points throughout the game that UL Eagles aren't going to be able to get on the other side.
Quigley, good spacing here from Eagles. Hickey takes it on for the penetration. Kelly, there's a block in there. Thunder wanted it.
And I think Owen Quigley picked up a knock. He gave a signal there to the bench as he was running back down. Maybe it looks like just a dead leg, but he's just walked off the bench there, and he's trying to stretch himself out.
Hickey in his first Super League start, certainly plenty of endeavour. Going well with his teammates. Goldsborough, late arrival from Westbrooks. Takes the bump, will go to the line. Isaac Westbrooks, as good a player as he is, he just makes other players look good too. He pretty much goes well with anything. I mean, you could say the same thing about Avocado, but really it's Westbrooks that gels well with others.
He's definitely the heartbeat of that team. We played them with Leicester the first game of the season, and he was just an absolute nightmare to contain all day. He runs the game, everything flows through him. He's really smart, very strong, and he can score when he needs to, but doesn't look to score primarily himself, looks to get everyone else involved. Exactly everything you want from a point guard.
Swords have been taking their chances, Eagles haven't, and that's why there's an 8-point lead for a team that last played here in the Hula Hoops National Cup final, but Kelly won't give up. Andy Dawson's in the game.
And I think that's a shot that Andrew needs to take. They're so long inside, you can't rely on shot faking and trying to pound it back in against those big guys. You've got to take your chances and hope that you make those threes on the day, because UL Eagles are going to need scoring like that to win it.
Still trying to figure out this set player, Thunder, but Narbonne's in possession. A man who spent plenty of time on the books with Real Madrid. It's as big a deal in basketball as it is in soccer, but it's the American with 2. And Sadler, well, they've gone with a guard again for an American this year, Eagles. It worked for them last year. Well, through stats battle, and definitely just gives them an element of control, which they'll need. Another big rejection for Narbonne. It's his second block of the day as Coombs spins out of trouble, feeds, and will go to the line.
That's case in point from Andrew Dawson there. That's a shot at the free throw line in the Premier League, wide open. You've got to just make that shot. He tries to drive in against those big arms. That's going to be blocked all day long. If Eagles are going to win, they've got to be confident in their own ability. They've got to knock down those open shots.
And UL Eagles call a timeout to settle the nerves. They trail by 14 points to 4. Justin Goldsborough has been the point scorer in chief for the Dubliners so far and takes his tally through. Sadler against his opposite number. Quigley looks to have shaken off whatever he needed to shake off. So too for Neil Campbell. Stephen King is in the game for UL Eagles.
Interesting to see how Steve will fit in with the rhythm of the offense. As I understand it, Steve's job takes him away in the evenings and he trains himself during the mornings. Obviously himself and Neil Campbell, Quigley, will have played a lot together. But he isn't actually training with the guys in the evenings and he may not be in rhythm with them.
Now let's see how it goes here. Narbonne pleads innocence and gets away with it. It's a black ball. And we've 6 minutes played in this first quarter. And UL Eagles with just 4 points on the board. Here's Coombs. Baseline drive for himself. It's out to Lacey. Wasn't a clean pass, and that was ambitious. Nothing wrong with a bit of ambition at the National Basketball Arena as Quigley cuts inside, looks for the bump, doesn't get the roll, but does get the ball back. Only for Kevin Lacey to execute the steal. Westbrooks. Narbonne. Pass to nowhere. Pass to his head coach, actually.
But an interesting decision there from UL Eagles sideline to press them. I don't think they're actually going to be looking for steals because Thunder have a lot of good guards. They might just be looking to get the ball out of Isaac Westbrook's hands. And that was what happened on the possession. And we'll see if it's something they stick with as the game goes on.
Thomas Walsh, the UL Eagles coach, his first season. He does, of course, have a long history with the club. A club with a very much a trophy-winning history, although be it not in recent seasons.
But again, straight away on the next possession, struggling to deal with the Thunder length. They get into the lane there, and the long arms of Thunder come up with another deflection, and that's something the UL Eagles have not gotten to grips with at all so far.
Sadler in the corner. He's in trouble. Does well to find the outlet and Owen Quigley. It's ended up on the opposite baseline. Hickey's going to have to shoot this one. Easy rebound for Charlie Coombs. He forgot to bring a ball with him there. As Narbonne backs into King. And out of bounds.
And it's great. I mean, Stephen King has been doing that for years. All the way I've seen him, he's usually matched up against other teams American in the post, and he's there matched up with their Spanish player. He's a much underrated defender in the post, and another example of fantastic defense.
Campbell, Hickey in the other corner. Still no result for the young man. Thunder look to break at speed. And internationals on and off the court for Griffith Swords Thunder. Two Irishmen there. Conor Gallagher on your right, on the right of your picture, was with Ireland in Moldova for the FIBA European Championships for small countries.
Eric Westbrook's looking like he hasn't got the best night's rest there. A small bit of a yawn. Hopefully he's ready to go when his number is called.
But they have a deep squad this year, Thunder, and it will help if they're looking to make that breakthrough.
They definitely do. They have a huge amount of talent, and that's with Eno Boyle still to come into the squad. Another senior Irish international with a lot of pedigree and a name that most people know in Irish basketball.
Definitely a name that can bring people out and into the bleachers. He's sick this weekend. Changing of the seasons, it's going to happen.
Well, he doesn't get quite the same weather. He was down in Australia, I think, for most of the last number of years, so a little bit more rough and ready here in Ireland.
Change of hemispheres too. Nice side game breaking out here between Coombs and the referee. Westbrook's keen to get on with proceedings. Lacey finds some room. More ambition from Lacey. There must be a bet on to find the alley-oop in the first quarter. Here's Sadler. Quigley was going to put it up from way downtown. King goes baseline. It's kicked out. That's an open shot for Campbell. Still can't make it count. The Thunder are just dominating on the rebounds as well at the moment. Jumped early, jumped off it. Another two for Goldsborough. Into the game for the first time, Patrick McCarthy feeds King. Eagles looking to use their bench. They still haven't scored. A long break now since their last score. It's in the corner for McCarthy, and that's the three they needed. Claps the hands and runs away.
may not have scored much, but they're getting a lot of open looks, and those chances are there for them. If they find rhythm, they will be able to get back into this game.
Lacey, Westbrooks, it's open for Narbonne. Tries to go around. King with the dunk. Now that had been coming.
Just such a tough matchup. He's deceptively quick, and the size and skill that he has, it's a nightmare matchup.
Narbonne. Smart move known to feed his point guard. I do say that knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Here's Narbonne with the miss. Goldsborough this time. And again, they really are dominating those boards.
They're just too big for UL Eagles there, especially when they come out in a pick and roll like that, and they end up getting a trap, and the UL Eagles defenders up nice and high in the court with the greater numbers in and around the basket and the greater height. It's a nearly impossible task for UL Eagles to come back with those rebounds.
Well, basketball is a game for all sizes, and that's what's just made its introduction onto the court for Griffith Swords Thunder. Conor Gallagher, the big man, is in the game, but so too is Alex Calvethe, the young guard.
But a very different type of a big man, obviously, to Narbonne. I mean, Conor's going to look to be in and around the basket, you know, to muscle in and around that key, whereas Narbonne can kind of pop up anywhere, but usually in the mid-range. So it's a very different type of challenge for UL Eagles, and perhaps a more traditional big man. And I think Steve King might be a little bit more adept at defending that, as you get a substitution here on the floor.
Always good to see. Sorry, coach. Some extra sprint drills for Charlie Coombs. Quigley. Alex Delenko also on the court for Griffith. Looks to close down McCarthy, but McCarthy's found some room. Went for the audacious pass, somehow completed to King, who's inside to Sadler. And will get the opportunity to turn 2 into 3.
That was actually a fantastic offense from UL Eagles. The guards cutting really well through the middle of the key as we're looking back here at the replay, and one of those cuts from the Stephen King pass. I mean, that's excellent movement, and they were fully deserving of that basket. Hopefully going to make it a three-point play here from the Limerick perspective.
All 12 teams in the Men's Super League descending on the National Basketball Arena.
See some of the Demons lads there eagerly waiting. Of course, they played Thunder last weekend in a really highly anticipated game down in Cork and came out the better end. That ended Thunder's undefeated streak, and re-announced Demons again. They'll be one of the contenders for the league this year for sure.
Loving the tops, lads. Hashtag squad goals.
UL Eagles came back there with that little soft press. Owen Quigley at the front of it, very long. Very difficult to pass around, but he's called for the reach around foul on that occasion.
So, Eagles still with just 10 points on the board, but have improved their lot in the last couple of minutes. More inventiveness, better determination.
I think they just need a little bit more confidence. They're getting open looks, and when you get open looks in this league, you've got to be able to take them, because you're not going to get a huge amount of them, especially against the length of Thunder. So, see Andrew Dawson coming back into the game here now shortly, and he was one of the culprits for maybe turning down some open looks, and Andrew's a pretty good shooter. He needs to be able to knock those down.
Calvethe from the line. As Griffith Swords Thunder extend their lead. Ronan Howland, the latest youngster into the game for the Limerick men. McCarthy was going to be an impact stop. He stayed in, scoring that vital 3. Goes for another. That's short. Goldsborough cleans it up.
And that's not one of the threes I'm talking about you need to take. That was very stagnant. They need to get them off better movement, because they can get good looks when they do move the basketball.
Let's see what the Spaniard Calvethe is up to. Drills that one to Delenko. Delenko with the floater. Calvethe does get the rebound, and he's back with it again. And the second chance opportunities are coming thick and fast for Thunder still.
And I think there may have been a foul called on that, and Delenko will be going to the line for 2 with maybe 0.3 of a second left. The clock reads 0.0 here, but the guys are lining up as if there's a little bit of time left. Couldn't quite see on that replay there exactly what was called. But no, there must be no time left. UL Eagles are walking back to their bench. So this will be the last shot of the first quarter.
An opportunity for Thunder to build a decent lead That they do. End of the first. Griffith Swords Thunder 24 points. Radisson Blue UL Eagles 10. UL Eagles staring down the barrel of a 14-point deficit with only 10 minutes played in this men's Super League Super Series event at the National Basketball Arena. Still trying to get set up on this possession. As Campbell goes inside, nearly had Stephen King of the way. Andrew Dawson, what about this one? Still no joy for Dawson, but it's with King. 2 for King. And that press that Cian was telling you about there looks to be still in evidence as Sadler pushes up on Calvethe.
And whenever Isaac Westbrooks is out of the game, it's a time where UL Eagles need to take advantage of it. He is the heartbeat of the team, and there's a turnover there from Thunder as Neil Campbell just pass doesn't squeeze through. But this is a time where Eagles have a chance to come back into the game. It's still only 12 points. They've had a lot of open looks, and there's plenty of potential for them to come back in.
McCarthy managed to dunk without the ball as he imagined play would continue.
Sometimes Thunder as well can get into a bit of a strange rhythm, particularly since they're swapping their Americans and playing them basically half and half. Baltimore and Goldsburg come in and out for each other, and they have a big deep bench, but most coaches will normally play an 8-man rotation. They obviously go a lot deeper than that, and sometimes they can lose their rhythm as the game goes on and other teams find their rhythm. So we'll see if that pans out as the game goes.
Conroy Baltimore is the American of choice at present, facing off against Dawson. Easy rebound for Conor Gallagher. Moves with speed you wouldn't necessarily expect from such a big guy. He does do some good work for Calvethe, but spills the ball. It's with Dawson. Impeded on his route to improving on the double scores deficit that Eagles currently face into.
Great job there in the replay. You can see the UL Eagle guys swarm around Colin Gallagher after he sets a screen. And as you can imagine, Ross, Conor Gallagher sets a screen, you're going to get pinned on it. But the rest of the UL Eagles defence did a great job of swarming to the ball and getting their hands down and turning it over. Now, this is one I was actually pinned on yesterday, and my father pointed out to me, and if I could say happy birthday to Jerry Niall, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
But he pointed out a rule to me that's changed around a little bit today, or this year, in that even if there is a last man back, if you make a play on the fast break like that, and it's not a move for the ball, then they're going to give an unsportsmanlike foul, and that's what Andrew Dawson is shooting to here now, and possession. So some players would be used to, if there's a player behind them, they can get away with maybe a bit of a cynical foul. FIBA trying to stamp that out, and I saw a couple of guys in the Euro League during the week getting caught for that, and Thunder have just got caught here as well.
I get the sense that this man has the yips. What can he do to right the wrong? Could have done with the bounce there just to boost the confidence. Here's Delenko. This man can jump inside. He's like a cosmonaut, but he's not bad around the perimeter too. Calvethe to the elbow. Still in trouble. It's an open shot. Well, it is when you're 6'10", but he goes inside to Baltimore. What can Baltimore do with the hook shot? Good rebound, Patrick McCarthy.
But fantastic defense from UL Eagles, getting out on the trap on the pick and roll and recovering to their man. As, they don't manage to convert there on the fast break, but they had an excellent defensive possession there, and that's a good sign for them.
Zelenko picks it up, kept his pivot foot in place. This time, top of the key, no joy for Gallagher. Not much happening in the first 2.5 minutes of this second quarter. And Calvete doing whatever he can. And that's Michael Goy.
No, a foolish play there from a very experienced player, Michael Goy. I mean, an obvious foul there when the guy he's trying to stop is just going nowhere, really. So a little bit surprised to see Michael making that mistake.
It was a 12-0 run in the first quarter that put Thunder in control. What can Radisson Blue UL Eagles do? Just opened up there for King. Gallagher does the necessaries. Bullet of a pass, Goy! It drops, superb.
And I did just criticize Michael Goy, so I better give him a bit of credit there. I mean, that's where he's so good. He's a big, rangy guy who obviously is a fantastic shooter, and we can see here on the replay the speed at which he can get up and down the court. And for a guy his size, to have that skill and speed is just fantastic.
That was on a zip line to the Polish swingman. Gets the chance to make it 3. Good offensive rebound, a chance to turn. Oh, the steal from Sadler. Will look to finish himself. Miss. Zelenko did enough. And Sadler needs to get back. And an absolute let-off there, because you really felt that Sadler should have been covering the point guard all the way home.
But what a block from Zelenko here. We see it here again on the replay. I mean, that is fantastic. Up around the ring for a guard. Just brilliant to watch. Never giving up on the play, and that's what you'd like to see as Neil Campbell here takes a seat and Owen Quigley is coming into the game.
Superb play from Zelenko. Good eye too from Cian Niall. I missed that. Jack Kelly. McCarthy. Bit sloppy. Quigley cleans it up. King's in the corner. Long 2. Goy sets off.
I think UL Eagles might come to regret this, because Thunder haven't played brilliantly as Michael Goy pops the 3 and puts it in expertly there. We saw his size running the court, and there an excellent 3-point shot. But Thunder haven't played fantastically over the last few minutes, but Eagles have not managed to eat into that lead.
Yeah, all playing into Thunder's hands as Isaac Westbrooks conserves his energy on the bench alongside his brother. And this one sinks. Calvete really making it tell.
That's an absolute dagger, because they've ended up opening up this lead even more now, when I thought that UL Eagles were playing quite good defense for a few minutes, but it's Thunder who've actually managed to get the advantage.
McCarthy snapped the last run. This time he can't find Owen Quigley. And is called ashore. Timeout called, UL Eagles. They trail 31-12.
So really important few minutes here for UL Eagles. I mean, if it drifts out anymore, Thunder, a team that play with a lot of confidence, they could blow it wide open.
Zelenko turns out of trouble, finds Calvete. Takes it on himself, as well he would. And the gap is out to over 20 now.
They're going to have to start coming over the top of that screen, going under. Conor Gallagher gives a lot of room for Calvete there to just knock down an open three.
Sadler, I'd like to see him having more of an influence on this game. King followed in on his own shot. The Thunder have the numbers to set it up. Gallagher did the right thing, could have been cleaner to Zelenko. There's still 15 seconds on the shot clock. Call for patience for Alex Zelenko. The ball's turned over, it's too easy for Thunder at the moment. Michael Goy's in the corner. Conor Gallagher goes wherever he wants. And that was ambitious. And Calvete had a little look over to his coach to see if he was in trouble for putting that one up.
He did indeed, yeah, and that's one we've all had, where the minute it goes out of your hands you think, oh, maybe that wasn't the best choice. But he was feeling hot, just scored 2. You can see it just comes off the front of the ring there on the replay. But hey, when you're going, you want to get them up and you feel like you can score, Anthem.
And there's a Westbrooks on the floor, but it's not their captain. It's new signing Eric Westbrooks, the brother in the game, and somehow Owen quickly picked that one up whilst falling and getting back up at the same time. Still can't make a drop though.
Steve King there, you can see on your screen, is asking for the basket to be given. I wonder if we'll be able to see on the replay here whether he's contending, I think, that the basket was shaken by the ball being blocked off the board, or the hand coming against the board. It would have been a very, very tough one to give, but Steve's going to ask for it anyways. But it'd be interesting to see the speed of play that UL Eagles have played with. They've been pretty slow most of the time, and you mentioned it earlier, Ross. I mean, they've gone with Sadler as their American as a guard, whereas most teams will go to Big as their American. And the reason they want to do that is they want to try and have a bit of pace on the wings that other teams can't live with. But it's been Thunder who've had the athleticism on the perimeter so far.
Here's Westbrooks. Junior, we'll call him. Connor looking composed inside to Conroy Baltimore.
Some of the basics of basketball there. Jack Kelly, as you can see here, just can't afford to be pinned like that under the basket. I mean, any player worth their salt, once he gets you pinned like that, he's going to be able to convert and get a scoring opportunity. So Jack needs to fight a little bit harder and get around in front. And Baltimore does indeed convert, getting the first. A
21-point lead for Griffith Swords Thunder. We've only played 15 minutes of basketball here at the arena.
UL Eagles have only scored 14 points. That's nowhere near enough of a return. They haven't really looked like they've been a confident team that thinks they're going to score a lot.
What can Ronan Howland do? Well, here he goes. Got it up over Gallagher. Gets another shot at the cherry. Eric Westbrooks. Feature of the early wins for Thunder was a spread of scorers. As Keane has alluded to, they do need everyone to be firing or else it does upset the rhythm. But there's no signs of that at the moment.
No, well, this is exactly the type of game that Thunder would look particularly good in. I mean, when you're running a big bench, it's easy to come in when you're up by 22 points in play. So they have a lot of really talented guys, and they certainly can put points up in a hurry. And that's why UL Eagles really needed a couple of good minutes there to try and make it a closer game, make it a bit of a dogfight. Unfortunately, it's gone the other way, and I do fear for UL Eagles now.
Paul Caffrey goes to Gallagher. Such a contrast between the two players. Sadler sets off. Wanted the basket to count.
Yeah, I think that's actually the right call. I think they are going to give it. I think he had picked up the ball before he was fouled. We'll see if we can see it here in the replay, but I think he made his last dribble and then got the bump. Oh, it's right on the edges, but I can see where the referees are coming from, whether he's in that 1-2 as he's going for his layup. Of course, if he is in the 1-2, it's a continuation. Basket will be good and it'll be one free throw. Yeah, so it is just the one free throw shot here, so they've given the continuation.
Get the sense that may not have been awarded if the game was slightly tighter. Westbrooks, Gallagher spins away from Howland. It's back with Caffrey. Good combination here. Saved till the very end was Conroy Baltimore. Admonishes himself for missing that one. Sadler, nice move. Campbell, they're under pressure here, but Jack Kelly delivers. 19 for UL Eagles now.
But I mean, so we get an illegal screen call there against Colin Gallagher, but I was impressed the time before. Thunder at the moment have 3 of their bench players in the perimeter, and they handled that press brilliantly. Now, they did actually turn it over in that possession, but it just shows the depth of talent they have, that they can have 3 substitutes on the perimeter together against a full court press. As we watch Jack Kelly there just putting in for 2 on the far side, but Thunder have so many guys they can call on who can play, who can score, who can fit in. Dave Baker really with an embarrassment of riches there on the sideline.
Kelly looking to find form for his team. King, big defense. Isaac is back in for Thunder. Seamus Hickey's crowded out.
What a pass in there from Sadler. I mean, that was brilliant play. We can see it here. I mean, takes the one dribble and then almost gets up in the air a little bit. Still sees that pass inside. That's fantastic basketball. And he's got to be more creative. I mean, he's a guy who's looking to create for them. They don't have a huge amount of guys who can beat players off the dribble. Neil Campbell, more of a spot-up shooter. Quigley a little bit as well. So they need Sadler to be able to break that first line of penetration and create some scoring opportunities for everyone else.
Is that what Thomas Kelly, his head coach, is imparting to him right now? Westbrooks combined to inject some pace into the Thunder offense. It's opening up somewhat for Caffrey. Goldsborough cleaned it up. He's in for Baltimore.
And while Eagles haven't done a brilliant job getting around those screens and they've given up some open shots, they actually have done a very good job of, once the ball's been passed to the roller, coming down the lane, of swarming to the ball, and they've got a number of turnovers, and that is a good sign for Eagles overall. I think it shows that the guys are engaged, they're working hard. They've got to iron out some crinkles in how they actually get over the top of pick and rolls when they're shooters. But at least there's engagement there from all the players, and I've been impressed with the ability to come from off the ball and get some turnovers, and it's bear some fruit for them. I mean, they're only 16, maybe 15 points down if they can convert here, and still in with a shout.
Cian Nihill, speaking fluent basketball. Did actually study basketball for the Leaving Cert. Got a B2.
I may as well have. I think I spent more time in a basketball court than I ever did in the classroom, much to my parents' chagrin, but yeah, pans out here.
Chagrin, the kids got words, everybody.
Yeah, I like that. I was trying to fit that in at some point. Yeah, so I'm glad I got it in early, because it's a tough word to fit in.
More commentator bingo. Just calming things down there. The young guns of Eagles, just a little bit over-eager, hands in. And the refs are looking to help the game along as much as give people to talking to as well. So gap was out to 21 points. It's back to 15 now. Has to represent some kind of progress.
Yeah, worryingly, of course, Isaac Westbrook's back on the floor for Swords Thunder.
And that wasn't neat enough from Narbonne. Looking to feed Caffrey. Sporting the go faster hair this afternoon. Backdoor cut from Hickey. But Campbell still has it. Now Hickey got lucky with the rebound, but Eagles will need to scramble because Thunder are advancing with menace, and it's open, wide open for Eric Westbrooks. Be disappointed with that. Good rebound over Goldsborough for Sadler. Campbell takes it in his stride. King spins around.
But Thunder have gone back into a 2-3 zone there, and that's where Neil Campbell and Steve King could really come into their own. They're very smart players. They've seen it all before, and they'll look and take advantage of that.
Westbrooks creating the space for himself, somehow keeps it alive. Easy putback for Jose Narbonne. Just feel Eagles need an option that they don't currently have. They've gone to everyone on their bench that's fit at this stage.
And that's one of the really frustrating things with playing Thunder. Great move by Neil Campbell down the lane, but they're just so long in and around the basket as we're watching Isaac Westbrooks here on the far side. And you can see their length here because it's going to be Narbonne, I think, who's going to come in and get the putback. Just so big and long. Such a difficult matchup. Oh, and I didn't actually realise that it was a foul called on Neil as he was going to the basket, so he'll get a chance for 2 here. But just on the previous Narbonne putback, it's one where the guards really have to help out. You know, the other bigs from UL are going to be coming across on the penetration from Isaac most of the time. Your guards have to come in and just try and move the Swords Thunder big guys out of the way.
Here comes Westbrooks. Man who always has an eye on the clock and the shot clock. Step back 3 attempt from Caffrey. Narbonne is heating up and he's doing it on the inside.
Well, a good job from Dave Baker, I think, coming back with quite a strong 5 here with Narbonne and Westbrooks just to finish off the half. UL Eagles were creeping closer and closer, but it's been pushed back out to 19 now.
King inside, less than a minute to go. Hickey from the elbow. The ones that need to drop just aren't. Caffrey advances. Well done, Hickey, to get a hand in there, prevent the pass to Narbonne. Campbell's looking for help, doesn't have it, may have to go himself. Bounce pass, audacious attempt from Hickey, but will get a chance to score.
So nice experienced play here from Neil. You know, just holding it up to the last minute, timing that pass perfectly. And a little bit unlucky not to get the ball to drop and have a 3-point play opportunity. Still going to the line for 2. Misses the first, but we're still at a 19-point game here with 37 seconds left on the clock.
Certainly if Eagles can get something out of the rest of this half, it wasn't going to come from the free throw line, but maybe here with Sadler for 3. This time! Back to 16 points. Eagles don't want this game to be put to bed. They're not ready to break out the teddy bears and the hot water bottles just yet. Westbrooks under major pressure, and Eagles have turned the ball over. It's with Campbell, there's 13 left. Sadler, open 3, can't follow up, but what about the rebound? It's with Thunder. Need to watch the clock here. Perfection from Thunder.
A killer to give up right at the end of the half there for UL Eagles after some pretty good defense before.
Final score for half-time, it's Griffith Swords Thunder 42, UL Eagles 24. UL Eagles staring down the barrel of an 18-point deficit. A poor first half. They'll just need to take the hit, learn, and move on. Goldsborough goes for two. Narbonne looking for another putback, but Goldsborough makes it this time.
UL Eagles are going to need, again, I said in the first half, help from their guards coming in to just try and break that away from the big size that's in the Thunder front court, because the guys at the back of UL Eagles are having a hard time just keeping them off the scoring charts, never mind the rebounding charts.
Campbell had the open three, presented it to Quigley instead. That one's short. Goldsborough effective on both ends right now, but it's Coombe to Narbonne. Soft hands, no roll. 20-point gap now. Quigley, maybe he had more time than he realised. What about Hickey in the corner? And I think we've had maybe 2 3-pointers from 15, 16 attempts for UL Eagles.
Yeah, and if you were drawing up a scenario where UL Eagles are going to win this game, it was going to be where a few of their guys got hot from three-point land. And they definitely have the guys who can do that, but it hasn't been the case so far.
Keane Nihill actually has a passport for three-point land. Narbonne on the perimeter. Coombs, so settled, looks much more experienced than his years, although that was hasty. Westbrooks always does the right thing, and this time it was feed the American.
But I mean, on that case there, Seamus Hickey from UL Eagles leaking out early. I mean, they're getting killed on the offensive boards from Thunder. He's got to stay back and help out his teammates to get some rebounds. He can't be leaking out early looking for a fast break that hasn't been coming all game anyway. It's got to be a 5-man job getting in there and getting some of those boards.
That is the third unsuccessful alley-oop.
I'm wondering, do they have a player's bonus if they can complete an alley-oop, because it doesn't seem to be on, and they are trying it all game.
What about this time? Westbrooks digs in, gets the whistle.
We see him going for, or Isaac going here in the fast break. Maybe, Ross, they know it's going to be on TG Cahir on Friday night, so they know an alley-oop will probably make it through to that highlight reel and determined to get there. Steve King coming back into the game here. Bit of experience maybe just to steady the ship and try and grab some of those boards. Jack Kelly's been battling hard, but he takes the seat for the moment.
Whilst we have this free throw, it is a good time to remind you, Friday, October 21st, 8 o'clock, a 1-hour special on TG Cahir, recapping all the very best from all 12 teams, 6 games, and 1 weekend at the National Basketball Arena, the Men's Super Series of the Basketball Ireland Men's Super League. Hashtag this is super. So no change in fortune for Eagles. That pretty much sums it up. An ambitious pass. Quigley remonstrates with Hickey. No time for that. As Quigley stepped into the passing lane, it was just reaching there. And Thunder have a man up. And hit 50.
Well, he nearly got away with the steal there and all the way to the other side. One player I have been impressed with is Owen Quigley today. I think his energy has been very good. I think he's taken on more of a leadership role with his team. He would have come into that UL Eagles squad when they were winning titles all around them, and he was a young guy and maybe wasn't always engaged on the court. Might have been one of the criticisms of him. He certainly is engaged today, and I've been really impressed with his overall demeanour and level of play.
Sadler goes short and hits the mid-range. Get the sense Goldsborough and Narbonne are in double-double territory for points and rebounds at this stage. And still that little bit of more experienced guys for Eagles doing a little bit of that on-court coaching.
Well, I mean, that should be one of their strengths. Steve King, Neil Campbell, and now Owen Quigley. They've seen a lot, and they're all very smart basketball players, and they have a lot of young guys in the squad, and I think it is one of the roles for those more experienced guys just walking through what might be a little bit of a tough season, particularly given the standards that UL Eagles are used to being at over the last decade. Might be a little bit more of a battle for them this year, and it's going to be a big job for those guys just to walk their younger guys through it.
Well, under Paul Kelleher last year, they showed on occasion that they can really pull out a performance. It was just the consistency they lacked in terms of getting further up the table. And there's a long way to go in the men's Super League season. That is somehow kept in. And if they can get a basket out of this, it will be a major fill-up. Will it come from Sadler? No, it won't. But all credit to King and Campbell for keeping that one alive. Another pass on a zip line from Westbrooks this time. And it's earned 2 shots for Justin Goldsborough. Really acrobatic stuff. Would have been so positive if that one had just got the roll for Sadler.
I mean, UL Eagles put all that effort in, battling, trying to get loose balls, throwing it out of bounds, and Thunder just one pass and zip it straight up the court, and there go to the line for 2. They've just scored so much easier. I mean, UL Eagles have 24 points now. We're nearly midway through the 3rd quarter. Just nowhere near good enough. Thunder have just scored so much easier than them throughout the whole game. Looked much more in flow, much more confidence.
Kevin Lacey back in to guard Howland. It's up from King. It's good.
And even there, Steve King knocks it down. I don't think thought he was going to make it. He took it and ran straight after as if he was going to get a rebound. Thankfully, it did drop for him on that occasion, but did not look confident taking it.
Lacey's pass is taken out. It's King again. Can he heat up from range? Well, that one he did need to follow up on. Can't earn possession.
Yeah, Steve just good effort there, chasing after his own rebound. A little bit unlucky. Those loose ball fouls can be tough to take as a player, but at least Steve is still engaged going after that loose ball as Isaac goes to the ring nice and strong and gets a fantastic and 1 move to the basket. He'll have a chance at the free throw line to make this a 3-point play.
That is incredible skill from Isaac Westbrooks.
Well, I mean, just a brilliant killer crossover move there. Takes him left, brings him back right, and then into the lane with the Euro step move. Just changed direction 3-4 times in the play, always with his head up. Isaac's a special player, and when he gets going, he's really tough to stop.
Straight into the highlight reel. And completes the bonus to put 30 points between the sides.
And I think it has been a fair reflection. Thunder have been a much better team, much more scoring power, so many more options, and I think they're well deserving of that 30-point lead at this stage.
Howland just put the head down and went for it. Could still work out. Oh, big rejection. And it could go all the way as Westbrooks sickened with himself. High standards for the point guard. Head fake from Sadler creates a little bit of space. It's inside with King on Lacey. Thought about the matchup, forgot about the ball, but somehow it's back with Limerick. Sadler into the corner, McCarthy sinks it. Awful lot of effort. You really hope they'll take more encouragement from that. They have to, they have no choice but to get the boost from this.
See, a little bit unlucky, you just very long range 2 there, but I think they should take some encouragement. I mean, as the foul drawn here by Kev Lacey, smart play. But UL Eagles, okay, it's a 30-point game here, 28 at the moment. Very easy for them to just shirk away and crack up the minutes here and just count this as a loss and move on. They continue to play hard. They have a lot of young guys in their squad. They're developing something. And I think they can take pride in the fact that they've obviously stayed committed to this game. And you need that. That's got to be your building block. And this UL Eagles team, I think, will take some big scalps as the season goes on.
We're midway through the 3rd, pretty much bang on. It is double scores. 56 plays 28. That's a sizable margin.
Kev Lacey with a really strange shooting motion here. His feet out past his shoulders as he lines up to take the free throw. You don't see that all that often.
Could get worse for Eagles. They have 3 players on 3 fouls between Owen Quigley, Seamus Hickey and Patrick McCarthy. It's just not going to be their day, is it?
I mean, that's a play that happens when you're just losing. That's one of those sort of days type of plays, and that's unfortunate because Eagles have put in the effort. I mean, look at this. Quigley throws it, a nothing pass off his hands and out of bounds. Just one of those days for them so far.
Coombs pulls up. Quick reflexes from Westbrooks. Goldsborough with a good battle inside. Ronan Howland doing very well there to box out the American. So goes to the weak side, and Charlie Coombs, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, good defense, just better offense. And UL Eagles had to help in on the smaller guard in the post there. Thunder spotted that, swung to the far side and converted with a three-pointer.
You can't fault these young guns for effort. They would want to mind the language, though.
I mean, you can watch the replay there. I mean, I don't really fault Sadler there. I think it's good recognition from him to help in the post. Maybe he's a step too far, but I can see what he's thinking there, trying to help out on the mismatch that's inside. But great recognition from the Thunder. Swing the ball right over, and Charlie Coombs dead-eyed from the three-point line.
Superb pass. Well done, King. He's still fighting. 3 different shots. The third one was the one that dropped at 60-30.
Yeah, Steve's a great battler. I can see him there trying to remonstrate with his guys, just get them going a little bit. I mean, he's a warrior. He's been through it all before. And he won't fancy coming up being down by 30 points here in the arena, a place where he's had some of his great memories, winning cups and league titles with UL.
1, 2, ever a 3. Phenomenal skill once again. Does the simple thing. Creates the opening. McCarthy does well.
And Eagles get away with one there. A needless double into the post and a wide open shot for Isaac. He'll be disappointed to miss that one.
Good pace here from Eagles. They haven't given up the fight. King, easy as you like.
Yeah, and there's Owen Quigley coming back down the court, telling the guys, let's go, let's go. You know, the Eagles certainly, they might be down by 28 points, but they want to play right to the last minute here.
At the very least, they're going basket for basket in the last few possessions. Narbonne back in play. Takes on Quigley. The shooting guard can't do what shooting guards are on the court to do right now. Sadler hunted by Lacey and Westbrooks. So it's with McCarthy. Goes back to Sadler. Well,
yeah, I think Dave Baker now will be a little bit concerned. I mean, Thunder have big goals this year. They're looking to win the league, win the cup, and it's not a good sign here that when the game is a little bit out of reach for UL Eagles, that Thunder just have kind of drifted into a bit of a slack defense.
And that's pretty much their starting 5 on the floor as well. So you'd expect them to come up with some power plays. Here comes McCarthy. Left hand all the way around. Tries to finish on the right. And just didn't have the length on Justin Goldsborough. Gets the roll, Narbonne.
That's where the difference is. They can just score so easily. But I would say on one side, UL Eagles are trailing here by near 30 points. As we look, great strong move into the basket. Isaac putting his body on the line, but Patrick McCarthy willing to do the same. But on the one side, UL Eagles trailing by near 30 points. They're the team that have the energy and effort. It's almost as if they're the team that's leading. And I think Dave Baker may be a little bit concerned that his guys aren't pushing on and keeping playing with the same intensity that they are really going to need when they face the bigger teams throughout the season. Looks like maybe just a little bit of moisture on the floor. Dave Baker there.
Well, he's got the lucky tie on today. Let's see how it works out for him. An ambitious coach.
Well, I mean, they've obviously played very well and they're very deserving of their lead and certainly deserve to be one of the title contenders at the everyone's mind. But just haven't been all that intense in defense here, as we see one of the three-pointers they gave up there. Sadler, pretty open look off, not much penetration. I think maybe a practice Dave might be running back through a few of those clips and saying, guys, you know, we need to play with intensity for the full 40 minutes.
Westbrooks tries to get his team set. Pushes up on McCarthy. Sadler looking to take it on himself a little bit. Gets around the American this time. Just can't finish. Sadler still in there fighting. It's Baltimore on the court now and Gallagher, so a switch up. Delenko. And Thunder have rung the changes as they look to put some more effervescence back into their play. McCarthy still doing what he's trying to do, but that was just too hard a shot to pull off. It's the ones that they've left after them they'll regret. Not much could be done there. Delenko. And Coombs would have subbed himself off if he'd have missed that, as open as you'll get.
Yeah, classic Campbell there. Maybe just some of the young guys, a bit more experience. Howland and McCarthy there, both of them doubling to a ball. Should have just been one going. On the far side, McCarthy had a great move, puts up a very tough shot. He has another chance here from the corner, but turns it down, and it's an easy turnover. Good effort, but just not making the right decisions. And there's the effort on show as he gets back and blocks the much bigger Conor Gallagher. That's not one Conor is going to enjoy watching back, because he should not be blocked by a small guy like that. But great effort there from McCarthy.
Just got some superb air on this to make it happen. But the threes keep coming for Griffith Swords Thunder.
And a nice job from Thomas Walsh there on the sideline for Eagles. Just called McCarthy over and said, you know, well done, great effort. With a few words of advice on some of the decision making, I think. But I think still proud of the way his guys are battling. And Ronan Howland there, case in point, fighting over the top of the handoff, forcing a travel from Charlie Coombs. So a lot to work on for Eagles, but certainly they've got that baseline of good effort and team spirit, it seems like.
Hard to believe that as they trail by 28 points, it's actually their best spell of the game, probably the last 5 minutes or so. He's at the very least kept pace. Campbell sniffed it. And it's left Baltimore to Coombs, another open three. McCarthy maybe just did enough to get a hand in the face at the last second. Good pace, here's Howland. McCarthy pops up the other end.
That's a good rhythm three to take. I think he's open on the fast break, in rhythm, and that's a fair one to take. Obviously, I would say that, having never turned down an open shot in my life.
Delenko had 10 seconds to play with.
I think it's going to be an offensive foul here. It was off the ball, so I'm not sure who they got it on, but it was an off-the-ball offensive foul, presumably on a screen. And it's going to be going the other way here with 8 seconds to go.
So let's hope they've got something cooked up here. A three-pointer will be nice. And it's not going to come. So 10 minutes left to play. And still a sizable lead for Griffith Swords Thunder. They lead Radisson Blue UL Eagles by 65 points to 37, end of the third. Well, they're playing for pride. It's not the worst thing in the world to play for. What can Radisson Blue UL Eagles do in the final quarter?
No, and Swords Thunder looking to get a bit of practice in their zone there. They've come out in a 2-3 there again. They're very athletic, and they can use that to break up the court very quickly afterwards.
Same five on the floor, the other side of the break. Putback is missed from Baltimore. And you have to say, one of Dave Baker's real talents as a head coach is his ability to recruit year on year. It just goes to show, I mean, there's 3 of the guys that he recruited last year stayed on in the National League. Dan Nelms to DCU, Mike Garrow to UCD, Caleb Noel to Sligo All-Stars, all proven that they belong, can excel at this level, and the current crop look pretty good too.
No, they've got fantastic talent there. Owen Quigley Banks went in. I'm not sure he called that one, but he'll take the 2 points. But yeah, Swords Thunder, they've just got incredible talent. And it's credit to Dave that he's got all those guys to work together. It'll be interesting to see how they morph into those roles as the season goes, because a lot of them are good enough to play a lot of minutes on other teams. But so far, it's definitely working for them.
Gallagher, on his return to Griffith Swords Thunder, was with Aina last season. And he'll need to show that the switch was worthwhile, and he does there with 2.
Big gaps in the middle of that zone so far for Swords Thunder. UL Eagles getting into the high post very easily.
Sadler shows his athleticism.
So we'll see if that's by design. Some teams obviously don't mind the ball going through the high post in the zone. Most teams will try and stop it. So we'll see if Dave is trying to get onto them to correct that. Good job by Sadler there, got his hands to it, I think rolled it off Conor Gallagher's knee. Conor's not that happy with the call, but I think it was the right one.
So, at the very least, Eagles need to be breaking the half-century to come away from this with any semblance of having acquitted themselves.
And Eagles had got some good rhythm going there at the end of the 3rd quarter. At least they were playing up-tempo. They can't let this zone now drift them into the same lull as Thunder have wanted to play with over the last few minutes. They've got to stay up-tempo, move the ball. As it looks like Thunder have actually gone back a little bit of man here.
It's not getting any easier for the Limerick men.
No, and that's one of the difficulties of playing against a team that switches between zone and man. I think UL Eagles just got lulled into a bit of a false slowness there with their play on offense, and Thunder capitalised when they switched back to man and up the pressure.
Westbrook waits for it to settle. Coombs passed to where he thought Conor Gallagher was and not where he actually was.
Yeah, I can see what Charlie's thinking there. Good smart play, just didn't execute it right because the pass was on inside.
No communication on the run back. I think they were both just happy enough to write that one off. Oh, and Coombs in the express aisle of the supermarket. Check out Mr. Westbrooks.
Yeah, here's where Eagles need their point guard to just take control of the game, organise themselves against this zone, because they're 6s and 7s here with how they move the ball, which is surprising because the high post, like there with Quigley, has been wide open.
No look pass from Quigley for Sadler. Well, whatever about the result, there's some decent performances still in the 4th quarter. 7 minutes left, 28 points between the sides, still going basket for basket in the last 10 minutes. UL Eagles. Delenko crowded out.
And it's Baltimore there who actually picked up the loose ball foul, I think. So you see Charlie Coombs there in the replay with very ambitious around the back pass that comes off to Isaac Respects. Lovely skill from Charlie there, and Isaac does well to gather it and put it in for 2.
Andy Dawson is back in. Just didn't have a good run in terms of shooting, but does have a chance to right some wrongs, put some black in the ledger.
Yeah, and that's interesting. That's why some teams, sort of counterintuitive, don't mind the ball going into the high post there, because you see when Owen gets it with his back to the basket, if he has to turn, this guy's reaching from behind him looking to poke it out, and I think Swords Thunder aren't doing that by mistake. I think they're happy enough for the ball to go into the high post there. A bit of a high-risk game, because teams sometimes have very good players from that position, fine shooters. But they got a turnover on that occasion, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Dave is actually looking to do.
Something basketball.
Come on, Ross, you've been around long enough now. High post, 2-3 zone. Sure you have the lingo. I think you're playing a little bit dumb there.
Calvethe, well, he was instrumental in Thunder kicking on in that 2nd quarter. Showed the depth at the time. Haven't seen him in a while, so he'll be looking to stake a claim for more minutes. So too will Conor Gallagher. And unfortunate there. We've a big knock for Owen Quigley in there. He's trying to shake it off.
And actually, I bumped into Owen during the half-time as we're watching the replay here, and he was complaining about his ankle. And I wondered, did he just twist it there as he's landing just at the bottom of your screen? But I asked him during half-time what had happened to him there in the first quarter, and he said his ankles are just constantly giving him a lot of bother, and it looks like he's in a lot of pain there now. So really hope, I think he's had a very good game today, given the circumstances, and we all hope that he's fit and ready to play next week. Cup games roll around.
Crucial to the cause. Yeah, as Cian mentioned, we're really ramping up here. It's Hula Hoops National Cup time next week. Again, it's over 2 legs for the men. An aggregate score. So
yeah, it's a part of the season that everyone really looks forward to. You know, over 2 legs, you get the team home and away, and obviously the cup drama here as a 3-point shot from the sword there just falls a little bit short. But everyone wants to be here in the last weekend in January, the big cup finals. So everyone's going to have an eye on that game starting off next week.
Somehow that's made its way to Sadler, who can't make do. Goy thought about the javelin, went short to Calvete.
Yeah, great job by Neil Campbell, actually, scampering back and stopping that fast break. Those are the little plays that sometimes you don't always take notice of, but are really important as the game goes on.
Hickey, Campbell, straightforward enough with the kick. That one went straight over Dawson's head, and it's back with the original shot supplier. Good athleticism. And Conroy pumps the pistol.
Yeah, real classic fast break. Give it up early, keep on going, get it back, and really strong move with the basket there. Baltimore showing his power.
Midway through the third, timeout called. Swords lead by 73-41. You'd have to imagine there's an element of competition when there's more than one American in a squad, that the US guys themselves want to be seen as the go-to guy. So there's an opportunity here for Conroy Baltimore. I think it's fair to say that Goldsborough's had more of an effect on the game. But maybe when the stats come out in the wash.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. I mean, it's been done by a number of teams throughout the years, but obviously each guy knows he's probably going to play about 20 minutes during the game, and as you said, this is their career, and they will be conscious of that a little bit. But that's where Dave, I guess, you know, that's his role as coach. That's what he's got to try and manage. And they've got a couple of leaders in the team as well that can, you know, keep things on the level.
Yeah. And another chance for Conroy Baltimore to pad the stats. Just a reminder to those who are uninitiated with the workings, you can have 2 Americans on your squad. You just can't have them on the floor at the same time. Alex Delenko from Ukraine, not a problem. To the Spaniards, Calvete. To the Dubliner, Gallagher.
The only, as a brilliant shot from Delenko, Conor Gallagher, the only Irish guy on the floor at the moment. Michael Guy obviously been here for a long number of years, but a Pole originally, so
we'll take credit for him though.
Yeah, I think we can. But Conor Gallagher flying the Born in Ireland flag for the moment for Swords Thunder. That's great to see. I mean, they've brought so much to the game, particularly the Eastern Europeans to Ireland over the last number of years, and brought it on leaps and bounds. And it's Calvete there, Spaniard making his 2.
to the point where we had the Hula Hoops Intermediate Cup final here in January, and it was St. Brendan's of Tralee, a real heartland of Irish basketball, versus an all-Lithuanian side for BC Leixlip Namunas. Just shows that there's been some fantastic developments in international basketball on Irish courts over the last few years. Calvete runs that one in easy peasy.
Yeah, and actually I was up watching that game, and it was a fantastic game to watch. And the guys from Lithuania, like classic, all the Lithuanians who come over here seem to have a fantastic level of basketball IQ and can really bring a lot to the local areas that they're living in terms of the level of basketball they've seen and played at. And I think it's brought the game on in Ireland leaps and bounds. Long may it continue.
So it's a second string 5 on the floor now for Thunder, but they're the ones who've pushed the gap out to 40. As the first string take a break, Westbrook, Coons, Lacey, all, and that's what a good bench does, isn't it? Reacts well as UL Eagles call the timeout, trailing 83-43. So don't forget, this is the first of 3 games in the live stream of the Men's Super League today. Neil Campbell. They're still ticking, Eagles, in fairness to them, but Calvete with another interception, and will try to run this one in as well. Too much spin on the ball. Remonstrates with the ref as he looks for something. Bounce pass to Campbell is good, and it's back with the original provider. Big rejection, but King follows in.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you got to do. They're going to block a lot of shots around the basket, them being Swords Thunder. You've got to be able to follow in and get those easy putbacks. That's their big off the floor, trying to block a shot. That leaves plenty of opportunities. Steve King takes advantage of it on that occasion.
Easy two-handed jam for Conroy Baltimore. 6 o'clock this evening, we will be fully sure that there's only one team left in the Men's Super League with an unbeaten record, as UCD, Marion and Temple Oak go head-to-head. 4 o'clock, the champions, UCC Demons, beaten on the last trip to the National Basketball Arena, taking on a cup side in desperate need of a positive performance is much of a win. You can join us on the live stream for those two, assuming, of course, you're tired of Netflix, or you've seen all of Narcos, or you're sick of subtitles, or Pablo Escobar, or whatever you're having yourself.
Going to give my confession, obviously, he's a big basketball nerd here. I'm really looking forward to them, because Demons, you know, the verdict out a little bit. Colin O'Reilly did a fantastic job with them over the last number of years. Tim O'Halloran in now. Are they the same outfit as they were? How big of a role did Colin have to play? Demons, a little bit up and down so far. They hammered Swords Thunder last weekend. We see how good Swords Thunder are here today. Then a bit of a surprise loss prior to that, where they were beaten very convincingly by UCD Marion. So how good are Demons? Cubs, for those who don't know them, new team into the league. See what they're like, and then obviously the game at 6 o'clock. Everyone's looking forward to that. UCD Marion, Temple Oak, 2 undefeated teams, as Neil Campbell goes coast to coast. Gets a nice easy 2 for himself. But yeah, basketball nerd within me, I'm really looking forward to these next 2 games coming up.
Calvete to Caffrey. There's a minute left in this game. Here comes Patrick McCarthy. No look pass to Campbell. Campbell with the patience and the finish. Well, Campbell, no reaction. He's smooth on the outside, but he's crunchy on the inside. It's an armadillo of a basketballer right there.
That's one of those great old man moves. Just gets in, real slow pump fake, puts it back for an easy 2. nothing too fancy about it, but Neil's been getting those type of buckets for years now.
Calvethe knew it was home as soon as it left his hand. There's only 40 seconds left to play. Can UL Eagles hit the half ton? Not that it'll count for much.
Well, I think they'll have a lot that they can take away from the game here as the ball swung to Neil Campbell and he drives in. Finds Steve King under the ring, but they've shown a lot of good things. I think a few foolish mistakes throughout the game, and obviously just depth of talent that Swords Thunder have was too much for them. But there's a lot in this UL Eagles team, and as the season develops, I think they'll take a number of big scalps, and it'll be tough for any team to beat, especially going down to Limerick.
Of course, and it's great to see, well, maybe not if you're stuck in it, but there is a relegation battle to be fought in the Men's Super League this year. There's some new teams, there's some teams who needed to kick on and haven't shown yet that they can necessarily do so. But either way, when we get to the business end of this season, there'll be something to play for very much at both ends of the league table. Where will Thunder be?
Yeah, and with their experience, I would be surprised to see UL Eagles drop this year. I mean, they really won't want to see that happen, considering the fall the UL Huskies have taken after their great heights in the Women's Super League. But I think UL Eagles just have enough in them, and the leaders that they have within their team, and the fight that they showed today, while clearly outclassed, was still impressive.
Potential final possession of the day.
And that just sums it
Will
up,
Campbell
doesn't it?
want to finish it? Somebody will. Did he beat the buzzer? Let's just say he did. Yes, he did. It's on the scoreboard. A win for Griffith Swords Thunder. They've beaten Radisson Blue UL Eagles by 88 points to 53. Join us at 4 o'clock for UCC Demons against Cubs.